Hey there, welcome to Yoga with Maria. I'm Maria, and today we're practicing yoga for flexibility. The big thing with flexibility is consistency. So save this video below or bookmark it so that you can keep coming back to it. For today though, grab your mat and 2 blocks. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and let's get started. Okie doke, come to your mat or your space. Have 2 blocks for this practice, and then come to sit down. We'll start in Dandasana. Legs are extended long in front of you, hands pressed down by the hips. Just flex the feet and then feel the torso get long. A nice tall seat here, reaching the head up towards the ceiling or the sky. And then just go ahead and point the toes and flex. Point the toes and flex. One more time, pointing the toes and flex. Lean back onto the hands, find Badakanasana, soles of the feet press. And then press into the hands behind you and lift the seat up, and then pick it up and set it right back down closer to the heels if you can. And then lift it up again and swing the hips side to side a few times. And then see if you can lift it and make this crease in the legs even tighter or deeper, and set the hips back down. Yeah, and then lean onto the right side and then step your left foot down, so the left leg is in a squat and the right leg is still in this Badakanasana. And then come back to Badakanasana and do the other side. So press the full sole of the right foot down into the mat. Yeah, use the hands behind you to help you stay on the sit bones, or kind of so you're not like sinking a ton backwards into the pelvis. And then do this one more time. And the right knee comes up, and then come back to center, Badakanasana. Lift the knees up and take the feet just a bit further away from you. So the feet are hip width distance, and then you're gonna just windshield wiper the knees, just kidding. Take the feet a little wider than the hips, and then let the knees fall to the right. So the left knee comes all the way to the floor, getting this internal rotation of the leg. Breathe. And then switch sides, letting the knees fall to the left. You can kind of lean back for this one, so we don't want to be like all the way up here. You can lean back. And do it one more time to the right, just noticing where you might have some congestion or tightness, and take it to the other side. And then come back to center. Catch yourself behind the knees and roll onto your back. Keep the soles of the feet on the mat, and then take your right heel up towards the ceiling. Interlace the hands behind the thigh. And then just bend the knee, flex the foot, and straighten the leg and point the toe. And then find the foot in somewhere in between. If it feels better to flex or better to point, you can, but maybe you find somewhere halfway there. And then walk the hands up the leg. Try to keep the leg where it is, just lifting the head and the chest here. And then lower the head and the chest, bring the knee with you, and take a half happy baby. The left hand will just press gently against the left thigh. Yeah, staying here, allowing the joints and the muscles to have a moment to settle into some of these postures. Hug the right knee into the chest and take the right foot to the mat. Take the left heel up to the ceiling. Interlace the hands behind the hamstring. Take the opposite interlacing of fingers here. And then one time, just bend the knee and flex the foot. And straighten the leg and point the toe. And then find the foot somewhere in the middle. Lift the head and the chest, use the belly a little bit, and walk the hands up the leg. Shake the head no, open and close the mouth, release tension, and then slowly come back down, releasing the head and the shoulders. And then take this knee to happy baby. So knee comes towards the armpit. Catch the outer edge of the foot with the left hand, or maybe you catch the ankle or the shin. Right hand will just press gently against the right thigh. And again, just kind of hanging out here for a little bit, a moment. So there's kind of, you know, different elements that contribute to flexibility, I think. I think a big one is consistency. Just coming back to the same shapes with good alignment and good like structure in the shape over and over again. Your body will just, you know, adapt to that. And then another one is giving yourself real time in some of these shapes. So then hug both knees into the chest and then let the knees go wide. So you're in a Supta Badakanasana with the hands on the feet, and then take it to a full happy baby. And then just bring the soles of the feet to touch, and then happy baby. Do this 2 more times. And this is really like another piece of flexibility is not getting too tense while we do it. You know, kind of getting in the mindset of a baby almost, of like how they just kind of roll around and they're not too stressed about anything. And, you know, even when they're kind of moving their body and finding their full range of motion, they're not really trying to. They're just freely kind of moving their body and hanging out. And so they do these, you know, they find these postures, but they do it without any like muscle tension or anything like that. So then the body is in this state of relaxation. And so it's like, oh yeah, no worries. Like I'm not going to resist against that in any way, mentally, physically, in my nervous system. And so the body's more receptive to opening up, because being in some of these open positions ultimately is a little vulnerable. Hug the knees into the chest. And so our natural defenses start to kick in, and we create tension around being in an open posture like that. And then it kind of inhibits our ability to release it or just to find openness. Roll to one side and come to your hands and knees. And then come to stand on the knees. Interlace the hands behind you. And then take the heels of the hands wide and then just reach the knuckles down towards the heels or your calf muscles. The sternum bone will float. You can let the chin float too. But we're really looking for an opening in the shoulders. Yeah. You can sway side to side. And then release the hands and step your right foot forward. Let the hips sink forward. And then just fold your torso over the front of the leg, or over the top of your thigh. If the hands don't reach the mat, grab your blocks and put them underneath the hands, and then just let the head fall heavy. Yeah, really sink into the hips here. Try to soften. So we're kind of finding a combo here of just like, you know, slowly moving in and out of postures with as least amount of tension as possible, and like holding these, but sustaining a posture for an amount of time without clenching or holding. And then from here, come to the pads of the fingers, or again, maybe blocks underneath the hands, and shift the hips back into like a half split. And we'll just come back to this first shape again, shifting the hips forward, and then shift the hips back, the toes flip up, and find your half split pose here. Let the head fall heavy. We're just gonna stay here for a moment. If there's any strain in the hamstring, back off. The straining or forcing the muscle to open or the joint is not going to help you in any way. So come off of it. Find a place that you could stay for, you know, if you were to imagine staying there for 10 minutes. And then breathe into that place. Yeah, and then shake the head no, kind of. Maybe you lift the shoulders towards the ears, open and close the mouth. Do like a few things that help you just kind of be like, whoa, okay, I was holding there. Let me just loosen up a little bit. And then come back, shift the hips forward. This time walk the hands in line with the foot, tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. And then we're gonna find a little twist. So the right hand comes up just to kind of release this. And then take a big circle with the hand, coming down towards the mat and then up. And then the next time you come down, hand comes to the mat and step to downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Let the head fall all the way heavy. And the knees come back to the mat. Come to stand on the knees. And interlace the fingers behind you. Take the opposite interlacing, so non-habitual way. Take the heels of the hands wide and then reach the hands down towards the heels. Let the chest lift, chin lifts. and come back to neutral. Release the hands, step the left foot forward, and then sink the hips forward. Let the belly rest on the top of the left thigh, and then hands come to the mat. If the hands don't reach, blocks underneath hands. Let the head fall heavy. Stay with your breath. Don't hold the breath. If this is really intense for you, keep breathing or lift the hips out of this any amount. And then shift the hips back to this half split shape, extending the leg towards straight any amount, and then come back to our lunge, and then shift the hips back again. We're gonna stay this time, toes flip up, hands to the mat or blocks, and fold. Let yourself fold over the left leg. Same thing here, kind of shrug the shoulders. You can even like lengthen each side of the waist a few times, open and close the mouth. Don't do anything like super drastic or jerky. But I know for me, sometimes when I get into a held posture, I will tense up just because we're staying and we're not moving. So if you need to kind of like do a few things to, I don't know if it's like off-gassing energy or just giving yourself that wiggle out, that shake out to relax a little bit deeper into this, by all means do that. I totally get it. It's kind of like an ease into hanging out somewhere for a second. A little bit of an integration. And then bend the knee and come back. Hands frame the front foot and tuck your right toe and lift your right knee. And then take a little twist. Left arm reaches up. Don't make it so like, perfect or anything. Kind of lean back a little bit, almost like a release. And then make a big old circle with the left arm. And next time it comes to the mat, downward facing dog. Pedal the feet. And then from here, come forward to pigeon pose. Right leg will come first, so the right knee comes behind the right wrist or outside the wrist. And then tuck your left toes and then scoot the hips back a little bit so that the left knee scoots back just a little bit more. Set up a block on the lowest setting, and you might need it on the medium setting in front of you here. And then you're gonna come and fold forward, but this time you're gonna take what we call crossed wings. So the left arm is gonna come over towards the right, and then the right arm's gonna cross. It's a little bit like eagle arms, and then keep moving the hands away from one another. Adjust your block if you need, so your forehead's gonna come to the block to rest. And hang here. So the arms can cross any amount. You can adjust based on how much support you need in the hips. And if the hips are way far off the ground, support yourself with a blanket or a pillow. Or you can stay up on the forearms here or on the hands, giving yourself a little bit more support if you don't have a pillow or a blanket nearby and you can't prop up the right hip. Yeah, deep breathing, or just conscious breathing, really. Just paying attention to the breath, making sure that you don't cease the breath or completely stop or like hold on to the breath. Right, whenever we clench, whenever we go into like fear mode or sympathetic nervous system mode, we hold the breath, we go, when we're stressed, when we're scared, when we're in fear. So conscious breathing is just more about making sure you continue to inhale and then exhale. Continue to inhale and exhale, not stopping with the breath, keeping it fluid. Lift yourself up, press through the elbows and unwind the arms first. Press the hands down underneath the shoulders. Tuck your left toe, lift your left knee, and just step back to downward facing dog. Take a moment here. If you want to lift the right leg up and bend the knee and open the hip, just to really release and find space in the front of the right hip, you can do that. Come back to downward facing dog and come to pigeon pose on the left side. Left knee comes forward, and naturally the front of the right hip will get opened here when we switch. So tuck your right toes and then scoot that right knee back a little bit. The hips will sink a little bit as well. And then you're going to come forward. This time right arm's going to be closest to you. And then reach the hands in opposite directions. Adjust your block, forehead to the block. So pigeon pose with crossed wings here. Addressing the shoulders and the hips at once. Stay with your breath. Keep breathing. Imagining the whole body kind of just sinking further towards the floor, almost as if the shape of your body is just going to leave a little imprint in the mat and the floor beneath you. As if you kind of just carved out, almost like, you know, when a dog falls asleep on the grass in that little like donut shape that's so cute. When they get up, there's like a little donut imprint in the grass. Imagine your body creating that kind of imprint on the ground or the floor beneath you. And kind of like taking on the sleeping dog mentality of just like chilling, relaxing, soaking in the sun, or, you know, the music that you might have playing, or even like the smells in your house. Whatever feels like nourishing that's in your immediate surrounding. Maybe the lights are dimmed, maybe you have a candle burning. Maybe you can hear the birds singing or leaves kind of rustling outside your window. And then press yourself back up. You can imagine all those things as well. Tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. Find downward facing dog. And then same thing on this side. If you want to lift the left leg and bend the knee just to release the front of that hip, go ahead and do that here. Woo, yeah. And then bring the knees to the mat, cross the ankles behind you, catch your blocks, and roll yourself onto your back. We're going to take a Supta Badakanasana here. So soles of the feet press, take your blocks to the outer edges of the legs. Let the knees fall into the blocks. I kind of take the blocks at a diagonal to support here. And then take the arms up and overhead, catching opposite elbows. And take the other forearm on top. Taking a little bit of an opposite motion with the arms and the shoulders. And then take the hands to the blocks, move them away, and then take the hands to the outer legs to squeeze or pull them towards one another. And then find a Shavasana. Legs come long, arms and hands come by the sides, and just taking a moment here to let all of this work integrate into the body. And so you have to do nothing here. I think part of this like flexibility challenge is, you know, there's one part where, yeah, we do need to counter like tension buildup in the muscles and the joints. But then another part is surrender, relaxation. We kind of talked about it before, but just fully kind of letting go. So again, see if you can imagine the outer perimeter of the body. And then just imagine that sinking into the ground, making that little imprint like the donut dog. Letting the body breathe. I'm going to leave you here in this Shavasana. Thank you so much for joining me today for Yoga for Flexibility, a deep stretch. Namaste, yogis. If you'd like to continue your journey of opening up the body and relieving tension, I recommend my hips slow flow video right here on YouTube. Go check it out and keep me posted on how you feel.